Retiring rich is not just about money. It's about enriching every aspect of your life.
We're not just talking about dollars and cents here. We know money's important, but what we're talking about today is being rich in a wealth of experiences, your relationships, and your well-being.
Ignore this, and you might find yourself rich in money, but poor in life.
And if you're new here, I'm Mark, and this is my wife, Jody.
We do not focus on the financial aspects of retirement, but rather your lifestyle, health, relationships, and more.
So please hit the subscribe button. It means a lot to us so that our message gets out to more people. And share this with someone you care about who's on their retirement journey too.
It's funny. One of the first people we talked to when we started Retirement Transformed was a friend of ours, an old-time friend of ours, who recently sold his business for several $100 million.
We had lunch with him, didn't we?
We did, in a little dark pub, I remember distinctly.
And we were looking for input on this company.
Right. He was retired. We were newly kind of moving into that phase and kind of failing.
But do you remember what he said?
He was miserable.
He was scared.
He was very scared.
With all that money, he was scared.
Yeah.
He didn't have a vision for what he was going to do. He was worried about leaving his workplace, losing friends. He was really scared.
And he hadn't stayed connected with a lot of relationships and his community outside of his work, right?
Yeah.
So he was feeling alone, vulnerable, miserable, and scared.
And you might think, okay, this sounds a little ridiculous. The
Right.
guy's got several $100 million. How could you be scared? Well, this same fright, this same feeling happens with everybody.
Right.
The point,
Regardless of your financials.
Regardless
really.
of your and if you have poor finances, then you're probably a little more scared. But we're not talking about that today,
Right.
because just because you have enough money doesn't mean your retirement's going to just go smoothly and be okay.
So let's jump into today's topic and talk to you about how do you retire rich? And again, not in money.
Right.
The first value that we would want to talk about is the importance of your social connections in retirement.
Yeah.
You lose a lot when you retire.
You do. And, it's an opportunity to dig through your past and find some old relationships that maybe you let go. You haven't spent enough time with them recently. So there's that.
I'm doing that this week, this next coming week.
What are you doing?
I'm having lunch with a friend of mine, a college roommate of mine I haven't seen in 30 years. And it's taken us a while to find each other and reconnect. But we found each other in unexpected places with still a lot of synergy. And I'm really excited.
And I started a new project. I just ordered personal, handwritten note cards where I can send notes. And I'm doing one note every day for the entire year, 365 notes. One a day, to old friends, to thank them, to show them I appreciate them, to really build this connection, because, we are always searching to have community.
Yeah, so I think it is important to, reinvigorate old friendships. It's important to put yourself in places to meet new people and find new friends, right? And then, look around in your community and figure out the best places you can insert yourself to find people that, like to do the same things you do.
You want to be rich with your friends? Go through your phone. Find your friends. Just text them and say, hey, thinking of you today. Do that once a day.
Well, that's a good point. In today's world, we can leverage technology to either get connected or stay connected. So that would be the first thing I would
community,
bring up.
friends, and all that. The second area where you can be rich is rich in time. Listen, one of the things that we get when we retire from our careers is we get 40 plus hours of free time that we can fill. Trying to figure out, all right, I have all this time, what's the best way to use it? There's this concept that's called time affluence. So when you retire and you leave your career, you are now time affluent. Not money, but time. You have all of this time.
It's funny because you can probably think back in your career or over the course of your lifetime, how many times did you say, I just don't have time for that.
Yep.
And now you're rich in time, and that should feel really good. However, it's important to prioritize in that, what truly matters, who and what truly matters, and create routines that really bring you joy and that move you forward for the next 20 or 30 years.
The big thing for both of us, just to close down this rich in time topic, is having a daily routine. Even if first thing in the morning it's 10 minutes, starting to build a morning routine to start your day off right, which should include, and I'm getting better at saying this, it should include exercise. 100%. You got to move first thing when you get up and hydrate.
And I would push for a routine at the end of the day too, only because we used to have one when we had Max. As many of you know, we lost our puppy recently, our dog. He was 14. But, you know, we used to walk him every night after dinner. And it's a push to get us out there and moving after dinner without him. So that's my plug for a dog.
All right. Health. Health
Mark
is
is
important.
having no part of me getting a new dog.
Not yet. How about health?
All right. So the third thing is to be rich in health. And what does that really mean? You know, physical wellness is a form of wealth. And you have the opportunity at this phase of your life to really dive in deep on this.
Yeah. And there's a couple of easy things to do. Go see your doctor. Get a baseline as where you are. Get some regular medical checkups. Dentist, doctor. All of your medical checkups should be up to date without a doubt. And then beyond that, there's this, you know, I talked before about walking. God, we talk about physical health, physical exercise.
We do
all the
talk
time.
about it a lot.
But you know what? Because it's so damn important. You've got to find a way to move every single day.
Well,
was I clear on that? Am I angry enough?
You were.
I mean, it's so important.
I do think that nutritional choices at this phase of life really make a difference. I know my pop, and, you know, I'll call him out on this. I'm on him all the time because, you know, as good as pizza is, and I believe it to be the, you know, the most perfect food in the world, you can't eat it every night.
Right.
So physical, nutritional choices for a healthy life really make sense under this physical wellness bucket.
Yeah, I want to do a video just on nutrition. We're not nutritionists.
Cool. We should bring an expert for that.
Well, we can, and we have. We had
Kristen Cofield.
Yeah. We can get her on again. But the changes that you and I have made and the struggle we've had on that journey of the comfort food I grew up with, chocolate chip cookies, Oreos, fried chicken, Chinese food, that was my go-to comfort food.
Right.
We've moved away from that. Our go-to food now is different.
Yeah,
but it's hard.
But it is hard.
What about fulfillment? You know, when you were in your career, you probably got a lot of fulfillment out of your job.
You were rich in fulfillment.
You were rich in fulfillment.
Right.
And, you know, obviously it was work and it was hard sometimes and maybe the days you didn't like it. But you had a reason to get up in the morning. You had a purpose. Now, when you lose that fulfillment or that purpose, you can easily get poor with fulfillment, and we don't want that. So things like hobbies and passions are super important to find fulfillment.
Even volunteering as a source of fulfillment, which, you know, also puts you in communities of like-minded, like passionate people, you know, that's always good.
That's huge.
Wisdom sharing with some of your younger generations that you either have kind of in your community or finding a place where you can share your wisdom with younger generations.
We do a lot of that. We do that with our kids, and sometimes it's received okay, sometimes it isn't. But you and I are the first to go out and help graduating seniors in high school or college, friends of our kids, to mentor them, to University of Hartford, where we both mentored a bunch of kids. It just gives you some purpose and fulfillment. Volunteering, getting a job, writing a book, coaching someone, whatever it is, that's how you can become rich in fulfillment.
You know, the fifth one is to stay rich in your marriage, in your love interest, or your partnership. You know, keeping that spark alive in long-term relationships really helps you stay rich in retirement.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be your marriage. In our case, we're married, but there's a lot of people, like maybe yourself, that you're in a solo marriage. What's a solo marriage?
I don't know.
I don't know either. A solo retirement.
There are days, though, that it sounds kind of good.
That's not funny.
I know. I'm sorry. I did not mean that. I'm going to get haters on that comment, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, it does sometimes. Now, let's talk about that. When we feel like we're in a solo marriage.
No, but if you're in a solo retirement situation, you still have love and partnerships and important people in your life.
Friends,
I'm sure of it.
Yeah, friends, kids, relatives. This is where the first thing we talked about was relationships and community. You know, to be rich if you are married, let's stick with marriage. Right?
Okay.
If you're in a marriage or a really important, tight relationship, you've got to spend time working on your communication.
Right.
You have to spend time setting and achieving shared goals, so you have things to do together. We have a lot of things that we do together outside of this business.
Right.
Otherwise, we would just go crazy, I think. But pickleball, golf, things like that. Doing the shared activities, I think, is really important.
I do too. I do too. And regularly checking in on each other, just really merely about the health of the relationship.
Right.
How are we doing? Brene Brown has this really cool concept where at the end of each day, she and her husband check in.
Oh, yeah, this is
and
great.
They throw percentages out. And she says, honey, where are you today? And he might say, I'm at 25%.
Out of 50.
And she might say, that's okay, because you know what? I'm a 75%. I got my 50 and your extra 25. Yeah. Don't worry, we're 100. But she also said there are days where he says, I'm 25, and she says, I'm 25. And then they know they have to sit down and provide a lot of extra listening and care and understanding because the relationship isn't adding up to 100. Right. And I think that's a really interesting point to check in.
We need to do that more.
Yeah.
Because I'm always like carrying you around. No? All right. Listen, a rich retirement is a balanced one. And it's not just your money and your finances, but also your emotional, your physical, and your relationship well-being.
We want you to enjoy your retirement as much as you can. So think past money and think about the 5 areas we just outlined in terms of wealth.
Now, we hope you liked this video. And if you did, you're going to love this next one. It's called Make Your Time Matter. And on that video, we talk about how important quality time is versus...
Quantity?
Quality versus quantity. Instead, we don't want you to let time just slip by as we age. So watch this video next.